fsp.org/West Essex. So anyone who's interested in that, I'll leave information with Christine as well. We had a library meeting last night, and I had a lot of things to talk about. So Saturday, this Saturday, there is going to be, the Friends of the Library is celebrating their 40th anniversary. So on this Saturday from 9:30 to 1 o'clock, the Millburn Free Public Library is having an open house. There'll be a pianist from 10 to 12 in the lobby. There'll be story time, bookmark making in the children's department, refreshments, and all sorts of decorations, a scavenger hunt, so it should be a lot of fun. In addition, everyone's going to get a card like this, but the library open house is Saturday, September 21st. The Fireside Book Club at 2 p.m. on Monday, October 2nd will be the library book by Susan Orlean. And then there's a whole bunch of lectures and other workshops for kids and adults running throughout the October, November, and December. So look for the card in your mail.
Thank you. Committeewoman Lieberberg?
No reports.
Committeewoman Krupas?
No reports.
Committeeman Levy?
No report.
Clerk Gaddy?
I just want to note that our next meeting is October 2nd. That's a Wednesday. So that may look a little different to some, but due to a holiday, it's a Wednesday, October 2nd.
Jimmy, any reports?
No report,
Alex?
No report.
Kit?
No report.
Okay, I have two quick reports. There will be a grand opening, a breaking ceremony for the new turf field at the library. This is the township's first turf field and the first turf field in 10 years. I look forward to my fellow committee members and the rec commissioners and the public to attend. We will send out a blast of when the exact time and the date, but this should be in the first week in October. This afternoon, we received final commitment and confirmation from the county and the county engineer that the upper portion of Millburn Avenue will be repaved. This will be from Douglas Street, which is at the former Wells Fargo, all the way to Morris Avenue. This work will start on or soon after October 3rd. And that is conclude my reports. I know our county representative is not here this evening. Okay, public comment. If you have any comments regarding ordinance 2542-19, which is in reference to the 85 Woodland Road LLC, please wait for the public hearing portion of the ordinance, which is later in the meeting. When invited to speak, please come to the lectern, clearly state your name and address, and speak into the podium microphone so your comments can be understood by all and properly recorded. Whenever an audience or committee member reads from a prepared statement, please give or email a copy to the Township Clerk's office at cgaddy@millburntwp.org. To help facilitate an orderly meeting and to permit all to be heard, speakers are asked to limit their comments to 3 minutes. The timer has been calibrated to count down. It will buzz at 2.5 minutes, which allows each speaker enough time to complete their comments by 3 minutes. This is a business meeting, and please do not address our professionals or staff or committee members. All comments should be directly directed towards me. Does any member of the public have any comments that does not relate to the ordinance for 85 Woodland Road and would like to speak at this time?
This is the first.
The committee will now consider consent agenda resolutions. The resolutions listed on the consent agenda for the consideration are as follows. Bills list, authorized refund of tax overpayments, authorize a refund of monies from outside lien holder, authorize the purchase of a John Deere wheel loader from Sourcewell National Co-op, authorize the purchase of a 2020 GMC Canyon Crew Cab pickup, approval of a 1-year extension of a contract for collection of our recyclables, approval of a 1-year extension contract for transportation disposal and removal of type 13 waste from the DPW, approve 1-year option 2 extension of contract for winter ski bus trips, approve the Township of Millburn to the Township of Millburn Police Department to participate in the Defense Logistics Agency, authorize the tenant of Short Hills train station to sublease a portion of the premises, This is Live Breads will be running the coffee kiosk, moving on in the mornings. Authorizing execution of the storm sewer indemnification agreements. Confirm appointment to the Environmental Commission. Authorize the traffic signalization cost sharing agreement revision between the County of Essex and the Township of Millburn for the White Oak Ridge Road and Hobart Gap Road and Hobart Avenue. And approval of some raffle licenses. Are there any comments from the committee or the public in regards to any items listed on the consent agenda? Please, wait, before you go, Mr. Kirsch, any committee members, any comments on the consent agenda? Mr. Kirsch, please, state your name and address, please.
Phil Kirsch, 93 Cedar Street. I just wanted to make sure that I fully understand Resolution 19-215 that authorizes basically the police department through the Township of Millburn to participate in the Defense Logistics Agency, I guess, lending program, or they give excess equipment. And I understand from what I read that this is for 1 year to begin with,
I'm gonna let Alex field this.
and that anything that the police department wants to acquire has to be approved by a vote of the Township Committee.
That would be brought before the Township Committee, correct?
And also, I saw a list that I think was D-Mill A, if I understand, that basically specified non-military equipment. But I also see listed D-Mill B through Q property, and I'm not sure exactly what that is. My concern would be what the limitations are, if there is any type of military equipment that would be, that we could be allowed to, to take.
Well, I think that there would be some military equipment, in particular high water vehicles that are used by the military and things like that. But I think obviously not anything. I don't think the police department is looking for weapons or things like that, but more so vehicles and excess equipment that would fall into that category.
And what is that D-Mill B through Q property? That's not listed, it's just mentioned.
Yeah, I can't speak to that directly, but I can certainly let you know, Mr. Kirsch, and give you some more information on that.
Yeah, and my concern again would be just what the limitations are. I see no problem with us using excess equipment like desks and things like that it mentions, but obviously not anything, no weaponry.
Right.
Thank you.
Agreed.
May I have a motion to approve the resolutions listed on the consent agenda?
So
Move to approve 19-205 through 19-220.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Burstein?
Yes.
Mr. Levy?
Yes.
Ms. Lieberman?
Yes.
Ms. Prupus?
Yes.
Mayor Egley?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a resolution, 19-221. This is for a liquor license transfer before the committee this evening authorizes the person-to-person and place-to-place transfer of the liquor license from the Hills Tavern LLC to Millburn Standard LLC. Is there any member of the Township Committee that has any comments in regards to the proposed liquor license transfer? Does any member of the public have any comments on this proposed transfer? Seeing none, may I have a motion to approve Resolution 19-221?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Burstein?
Yes.
Mr. Levy?
Yes.
Ms. Lieberman?
Yes.
Ms. Prupus?
Yes.
Mayor Egley?
Yes. Ordinance 2541-19. The next item on the agenda is ordinance, as I said, 2541-19, entitled an ordinance to amend and supplement the development regulations and zoning ordinances of the Township of Millburn, Chapter 6, subsection 609-10, entitled Street Graphics. The purpose of this ordinance is to amend the township's zoning ordinance pertaining to street graphics in various zoning districts. These revisions would allow for projecting signage and sandwich boards as outlined in the table of design elements, and require the removal of vacant property signage. The revisions to this section would enhance the flexibility of businesses to display signage to promote their establishments. In light of the number of residents present to participate in the hearing associated with Ordinance 2542-19 on the affordable housing matter, and the likelihood that a significant number of people who want to be heard in connection with this ordinance, With the consent of the Township Committee, I propose to have the hearing on ordinance 254119 continue to the October 2nd public meeting. Is that agreeable to everyone?
Yes.
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 Without objection, I declare the public hearing open and announce that the hearing on this ordinance will be continued to October 2nd. Seeing there is no change in the advertised text of the ordinance and accordingly no need to re-advertise it. Roll call, please.
We have to move it, right?
Oh,
I move to continue 2541-19 to the October 2 meeting.
Second.
roll call, please.
Ms. Burstein?
Yes.
Mr. Levy?
Yes.
Ms. Lieberberg?
Yes.
Ms. Krukus?
Yes.
Mayor Flagel?
Yes.
Point of order, why is Mayor Bernstein voting on that when she said,
This is a sign.
Oh, yeah, wait a minute, so we get that squared away right away. Points of order under Robert's rules are done by these people, not by members of the audience viewing the proceeding. Now, if you care to recognize the gentleman's question,
This is
You can,
about,
but-
oh,
It's a different ordinance.
yeah, this is
If you
not the
paid attention to
Woodland
the
Road
agenda, you would know
ordinance.
that.
Moving on.
It was a zoning ordinance.
design graphics.
This is 2541.
Can you pass this to Christine? I do.
I believe Ms. Committeewoman Bernstein has a statement to make.
In January of 2019, I became the chief operating officer of my firm. My firm leases 3 offices in New Jersey, 1 in New York, and some warehouse space in Little Falls in New Jersey. In August, the messenger bringing items to our warehouse called me to tell me that the elevator in the warehouse was stuck and requested that I call the landlord to get it fixed. I called my senior partner to find out the name of the landlord, and at that point, I found out it was Silverman. At that point, after saying some things under my breath that I will not repeat here, I called the township's council, advised him what I had just learned, and after some discussion, he advised that I would need to recuse from any further involvement with the Woodland Road matter. I'm disheartened and appalled that some of you have accused me of acting improperly and unethically. And for some of you, it is your knee-jerk response to my recusal. It really is despicable. In any event, as soon as I learned there might be an appearance of conflict, I advised council and was advised to recuse, and that's what I did. And with that, I wish you all a good night.
what's the nature of the conflict exactly?
I don't believe there's a conflict, but there's an appearance of conflict, and so I'm not allowed to continue.
What is it?
It's that Silverman is a landlord that I may have to have discussions with in connection with my new role. And on advice of counsel, I've recused. Thank you.
Committeewoman. Okay. Moving on. I present for consideration an ordinance entitled Ordinance Number 2542-19. Ordinance to approve a settlement agreement resolving certain litigation captioned 85 Woodland Road, LLC et al. Docket number ESXI 2672-18, and to adopt a zoning ordinance implementing said settlement agreement. As the title of the ordinance states, the purpose of this ordinance is to authorize 2 elements. The first is the approval and execution of the settlement agreement resulting from the mediation convened by Special Master Frank Banish, who was appointed by Judge Gardner in connection with the litigation brought against the township known as the Builder's Remedy lawsuit. The ordinance contains, as its second element, a detailed zoning amendment to implement the settlement. In accordance with municipal land use law, the ordinance was referred to the Planning Board for its review. The Planning Board met and has forwarded its report concerning master plan consistency, about which more will be said shortly. The Planning Board, which is also a defendant in the Builder's Remedy lawsuit, voted to approve the settlement agreement subject to passage of this ordinance, 2542-19, by the Township Committee. In this connection, the Township Committee will also consider Resolution 19-222, responsive to the Planning Board report. Procedurally, I know that this is an unusually complex process, and accordingly so, that it can be properly understood, and before